Holy Water Reigns family, are you troubled that your past life could affect your future? I want to tell you a story about a man named Saul, who was later called Paul, who wrote most of the New Testament in the Bible. In chapter 9, verses 1 and 2, it tells us about Saul saying, "But Saul, still breathing threats and murder against the disciples of the Lord, went to the high priest and asked him for letters to the synagogues at Damascus, so that if he found any belonging to the way, men or women, he might bring them bound to Jerusalem." This is where they were describing how Saul was working for the Roman Empire, and he was assigned to the task of killing, arresting, and jailing people that were followers of Christ. One of the most evil things, one of the 10 commandments, God said, "Thou shalt not kill," yet he was also a victim of his own sin. It goes on later to say in verses 14 and 15, "And here he has authority from the chief priest to bind all who call on your name. But the Lord said to him, Go, for he is a chosen instrument of mine to carry my name before the Gentiles and kings and the children of Israel." This is where God had presented himself to him. And when Ananias went to heal him from his blindness, he had told Ananias that, "I have chosen this man, the Roman, the murderer, the persecutor. I've chosen him to build my church." Later on in chapter 9, verse 26, it says, "And when he had come to Jerusalem, he attempted to join the disciples, and they were all afraid of him, for they did not believe he was a disciple." This goes to tell about how the disciples didn't even believe that this was real. They had been hunted by this man. But when God lays a calling on your life and you begin to seek the kingdom of God and you begin to follow purpose, that God will create a way. That God doesn't care about your past. He cares about your heart for him right now and what he can do with you in your future. He will use you. He chose Paul, a murderer, to build his church. Paul later went back to Rome, where he was an enforcer in the Roman Empire, gave the gospel to Rome and was murdered for it. But 200 years later, the Roman Empire became a Christian nation. That is how God used a man who persecuted his church and killed its members to change the entire trajectory of an entire nation. That was the largest empire known to man. If you like this content and you want to see more content like this, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share it to the homies. Peace and love.